We're going to sell beverages with THC and really incredible ingredients on Meta, on TikTok, on AppLove, and all these platforms. And we're going to make it a subscription brand. And we're going to run that on D2C. And almost 2 years in, 65, 66 million generated. And we're like continuing to grow and now retail.
Welcome back to the Smart Marketer Podcast, everybody. My name is Zach Dampier. I'm the content coordinator here, and I have a very special guest with us, one of the most requested people here at Smart Marketer Live. We are live in Denver right now, underground, not really, but underneath the stage where everybody else is. And this one name just keeps coming up. Everybody's so excited. So I'm very excited to introduce for you all Nick Shackelford.
Oh my God. He was telling me this a little bit right beforehand, and I was like, I think I'm like 11 years in now, and to keep some sauce going and people interested in it, it just goes to show, A, the audience is still needing new content, fresh content consistently, and also, I mean, Ezra and Molly, they pull in people. And when we just finished my event, right? Ezra was at my event, and he goes, "I'll see you in a couple of weeks." I was like, "No, oh wait, I will. I'll be there." And it's just they're in the game, and I had to be. This is where it's at, so I got to make sure it's part of the trip.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, once you get in the game a while, like you and Ezra both, I mean, it's something that people really respect. Because I mean, you always have to evolve. Obviously, things change, and you're not just a one-trick pony where you've found a way to game TikTok, and now you're 5 million subscriber, follower influencer on that platform. You've seen the internet change. You've adapted. You've been able to find success multiple ways. So I think that's why people really gravitate to you all and really like to hear what you all have to say. And that's one of the reasons why you're here and why everybody's like, I cannot wait for Nick Shackelford to touch that stage. So just know that everybody cannot wait to hear from you. And so with that being said, for anybody that is listening to the podcast and doesn't know much about you, why don't you give them kind of an introduction to your marketing journey and the company that you have now?
Cool. So the company that I'm part of is called Brēz. And so it's a THC, non-THC beverage co. And it's basically built off of the back of one really incredible person named Aaron. So Aaron Nospich is like our founder and our CEO. And he like had a vision, like we're going to sell beverages with THC and really incredible ingredients on Meta, on TikTok, on AppLove, and all these platforms. And we're going to make it a subscription brand. And we're going to run that on D2C. And fast forward now, and we're almost 2 years in, 65, 66 million generated, and we're like continuing to grow and now retail. And so to be involved from an agency standpoint, from a paid media standpoint, from an email standpoint, because that was what we did at the agencies, right? At Structure, to Constant and Lucid, all these people that we've learned how to do these skills, this is my favorite thing to talk about. Learn the skills that make you valuable, and then when you find something you care, love about, which I care about this product, I care about what we're doing, you go and you apply. And so right now I'm in brand build mode. I'm in dad mode, which we talked about a little bit. Like my son's 18 months old. I'm learning how to be a better dad or a better husband. And then build businesses, which is, profit and like prosper is what Ezra and the team kind of preach. And I try to live it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would like to go back what you said with Brēz being a THC beverage. I worked in support starting out at Smart Marketer. So one thing that I always heard was somebody with some kind of restricted product for Facebook. So how do you all kind of navigate that and find ways to not, cut any corners and not do anything bad, but find ways to get your product and your name out in front of people when it's a little bit harder based on what you're selling? Well,
I think this is why we had to build the secondary line, because it is hard. Like Meta, Google, X, TikTok, like there's levels of approval that they'll give you. There's rules they want you to follow. They say you can do these types of things, but you have to follow these rules. Right. And sometimes what's frustrating is like some people follow the rules and they still get got, or like something goes around their accounts. Right. And because your access to them, that's the most frustrating part. It's not, they want our money, trust me. They want all the money we can give them on the platform. But if there is a way to do it compliantly, they'll do it. So they told us how to do it. Like we want you to run it with a hemp. It's got to be multiple clicks in. You can't sell anything above this percentage of THC. And so like we're going to follow those rules, because it's not just Meta, it's Google too. But what we really realized is like we actually can't just run that product, and that's why we had to expand it. So even though we're known for originally V1 was a THC and mushroom beverage. Then now we're the phase 2, which is like we're a social tonic. We're trying to build into these emotions that all of us have. Because dude, this industry, think about this. You have hydration, electrolytes, powder, water. You have caffeine, coffee, energy. There's so much other stuff in between that we all feel.
Absolutely.
And I think there's and if there's more things that people could feel, there's more things for us to sell them, for them to buy. And then we just hope it's a good product.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that it's definitely a industry that's perfect right now, because I think that the younger generations are really starting to not necessarily reject alcohol, but just not gravitate to it at the rates that they had. And so it's definitely something where they're looking for another alternative to have that kind of social beverage that, might loosen the inhibitions a little bit, but not necessarily have the other effects that alcohol might have. So it's one thing that I think it's also a cultural trend that you all are able to really capitalize on and be able to grow with. And I think one of my favorite stories is you bringing that V1 to either Blue Ribbon or
It was Blue Ribbon.
to Blue Ribbon, and one of our coworkers tried it, and it was a sample, and I think it was a concentrate, so it was more powerful than the actual beverage, and they didn't know that it was THC, and they were going to present later on, and so they were just
cooked.
Yeah, they presented flawlessly. I mean, there was no way that they could have messed up with how great they were feeling. But she was like, I had no idea what was in that drink. So
it happens more than you think. Like even when we tell them, like when we do a lot of sampling, like we do a lot of events, because like you have to get a full experience. Like, okay, the normal way people buy beverages, right? Well, think about this. When was the last beverage you bought online?
Bought online?
Probably not. Did you even?
I bought one. I bought one. There was a bourbon company that was founded by some of my fraternity brothers in Philadelphia. And so I bought from them. They didn't even ship to Kentucky, so I had to ship it to my college roommate in Georgia, and then he had to ship it to me.
Okay.
And that's probably the one time that it's happened.
All right. So the one time, and you're how old are you?
I am 27.
Okay. One time in 27 years, you felt the urge to see something on the internet that it was a beverage, and you bought it. And you did it because you had a buddy that you loved, you supported, you trusted. Majority of the world goes to a store, pulls it off of a shelf. I really like this. Goes to Amazon and buys it in bulk. Every energy drink I've ever drank or consumed, I love this. Bulk buy Amazon, wait for Prime Day. Like that's today.
Right, yeah.
My cart was like $800. I was like, this is my whole year.
Yep.
So I sit here and I go, the natural way that people are buying this product and experiencing this is in person, is live. So we have to get this product out there. But unfortunately, people are like, they've had a bad experience, or like maybe they had a gummy, or maybe they had an edible, and they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, no, it's different. You have to try it to understand it. And the more that we can get cans in hands, is what we say, the better they're going to stick with us.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Great idea.
Because, dude, we're not building an e-commerce business. Like, we're building a business.
Right.
That's the difference. Like, some people think like, well, I'm gonna be an incredible brand online. Yeah, but you whether you want to know this or not, like you have a brand offline. You have to meet the consumers where they're at, and I think that's what I'm learning. That's like the difference for me, because I was always a digital agency, scale, spend, and I go, whoa, this is way different. This is way deeper, and I think that's a cool part of what we're doing. Hard, but it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then for all of our viewers that might not be here in Denver right now, what's one key takeaway from your presentation you're about to give on stage that you would just give to anybody looking to get into business, into e-commerce, that you think can really make a difference for them?
Something that's simple for us. Like we'll do a good number this year. We did a good number last year, and our best performing creative and asset is Aaron calling a customer. Aaron and Corbin call up a customer, thanking them for buying, and we recorded that very authentically. Like, yes, we're using it for the intention to hopefully sell if someone can understand it, but we're also at our bottom core heart, like, why are you buying our product? What did it do? Who did you give it to? And so that asset is our best performing creative in Meta. And so I think any founder, it's separate from what I'm talking about. I'm talking about retention systems and tools that we use to build LTV or repeat purchase rate. That's like what I'm really talking about from playbook wise. But for people that can win, that aren't here, that you can do no matter where you are. If you're the founder or you're higher up, call the customer that spent your first product ever, spent the most with you, and ask them like what they did. And it's a little bit awkward, right? You're calling a stranger for sure. They might not pick up, but you leave a message, tell them to call back, and that is a great asset.
Yeah, definitely.
And also now, everyone's leaning towards AI. You see a real call, real person, feels good. Yeah,
definitely. I've seen a few companies do that, and you're right. Like, you sit around to see what happens because it is so different from the normal.
Yes.
And then along those same lines, I don't know if you're on TikTok often, but I've seen a lot of them from the Amalfi Jets company, where they're typically fielding kind of customer complaints and the most outlandish kind of concerns they might have for a private jet company. And they're all like very dramatic. So then like the comments are like, there's no way this is real, but it's very engaging. And like you said, it feels real. And like, even if you might, it's kind of like WWE, like, like these requests, like there's no way they could be real. But it still feels so real that like it's entertaining. And so
you're still there. You're still
exactly. Like you're still there at the end of the video. So like, does it really matter if you completely believe it or not?
Yes.
But with you being on stage talking about the lifetime value, I think that's also something a lot of people struggle with, especially getting that repeat purchase after the first one. Is there any like simple playbook that you think people could implement in that regard?
Yeah. So I think we have a product, we have different type of customers that buy from us. We have customers that are naturally going to take a subscription. We have customers that will never take a subscription but love the product multiple times. And then we have a customer that's just learning about us and they might be interested. Like different stages. And I think you have to understand that there are people that want to check out or buy a certain way, whether that's on Amazon, whether it's your site, whether it's with a discount, whether it's without a discount. And the speed at which you can determine what is the earliest and the fastest way someone comes in from your brand, and then what is the most common product that they use that keeps them with the brand. That's the goal that we're trying to shrink. And so what we do, I know without a doubt that a 6-pack of a 7.5 ounce is my best entry point to the brand. But I also know that I get the speed at which I can get them onto a 12-pack 12 ounce will determine that they're going to be with me for 4 months. Brother, that's the equation. So all I got to do is just optimize that specific thing. And so that right now for our brand at our level, that's all I care about. So you have to understand, and take some digging. I'm not saying it's easy. There's a query on like, how many emails did you send from the first purchase to the second purchase? And then there's what product did they buy first and second? So there is going to take time of research, but it's the most important one you can do.
Yeah, definitely. And then with your past being an agency, so you've seen all the industries, you've been around for a while. What's one kind of prevalent mistake that you've seen really kind of stand out and just continue to kind of rear its ugly head that most people make and they might not know that is a mistake?
So I've known this, but I was validated when, who was our Meta rep that spoke today?
Sammy.
So like it's very rare to get Meta rep to come to an event. And
Sammy's the best.
She was honest, dude. She was real. She was honest, just straight up. But I've always felt that like targeting was really unnecessary and people really feel strongly about targeting. And for her to be like, it is in your asset, that is the creative and the targeting, stay broad. I knew that. And so people still talk about, I need to stack or change. Look, it's worth the test. Like I'm not saying nothing is not worth the test, but for her to say that is not where it's going, that was cool. That was like, I felt like I knew that, but for her to say it, I'm like, all right, validated.
Yeah, for sure. That's always good to hear. And especially with like the new Andromeda updates, I know that's been...
It's a must.
Yeah, a huge game changer. Creative is currency. That's one thing that we say often here now. Pep did a whole video about it, and it's such a hot button topic right now. Yes. I believe that video went live on Thursday, and it's Monday, Tuesday today, and it's already over 5,000 views, organic, like 40 comments.
Yeah, that'll pop.
Like 99.5% likes. There's one person that disliked it, and they probably just dislike Facebook ads, and that's the only reason they're disliking it.
Fair.
So it's a huge thing, and it's definitely a big change in how ad accounts have been structured and the best practices with that. So, I mean, I'm sure you know, you've been in it a while. There's always something changing. There's always something that has to be updated. There's never one easy answer that's going to work forever. So just being adaptable, I think, is one thing that's really important, especially in e-commerce, because it's ever changing, especially with AI. It's only going to change quicker and quicker. So being able to not get so set in your ways and being so bought into a system that might have got you, your first $10,000. Because they could have worked then, but it's not going to get you the next 50, the next 100, especially as time goes on.
It's very well said. I won't even change anything. That's all factual.
That sounds good. And then, so with Brēz, what's kind of keeping you all going right now? Like, what's got you all excited to show up to work every day?
That's a better question than I expected from you right now. we just transitioned into from ads to like, all right.
What's the meaning of life,
Yeah, I'm trying to find the fountain of youth. I'm trying to put it in a bottle and serve it to you, dude. I will say we're in the process of raising money. I've never done this before. I don't know how it's supposed to feel. I don't know why we didn't do it earlier. I don't know why we're doing it now. Like, there's like all these questions of things. Like, I know I'm doing it now, but that's more me being like facetious on things. I love growth and I love being in the brand. and I love executing. This is why I'm not the CEO, because I don't want this stress that I'm doing, because I'm an owner here, so I care about this. Obviously, it's my livelihood. I believe in the opportunity. I believe where it's going. But this level of stress of like having to jump on calls, having to hey, like what are you in for? Would you do this? I don't want that. But that is what I know right now. I have my finance team getting me the reports at a time so I can go talk to this investor. I have my CEO jumping on with this guy. I have this team where like you see everybody coming together and be like, Dan, can I get this by Wednesday? He's like, no, I got it already early. Can you ask Mikey to make sure you get that report to you? Like you see this movement in a decentralized work from anywhere situation. It's beautiful. Because we all understand, what are we doing this for? This is the mission. Our goal is to get this dollar amount by this date so we can continue to accelerate to there. And so I think that is more of like, we are in wartime right now. For us, this is it. This is like elbows up, ready to rock. And so I think that what's keeping us going is the fact that this is the right thing to do. We see where it needs to be, but it's not easy.
For sure. And I think y'all maybe hit the nail on the head. Like seeing processes work where a team can work asynchronous in different places is just seeing it effective, and seeing everything meeting deadlines is so nice. Obviously, Smart Marketer, we're all remote. Most people are all different time zones. I mean, it's very, very limited. There's me, Molly, my cousin in Kentucky, and then Ben Bennett's in Kentucky. And we are the three that are like local, and then everybody else is like New York, Bulgaria, all over Europe. And so us being able to find times to come together to check in, make sure everybody's still in the right place, is just such a beautiful thing to see and realize that you're a part of, and make sure that it still works overall. And so it's really cool seeing that you feel that way too, and just seeing where the parallels between Smart Marketer and you all are. And with that, kind of give us a little bit of a breakdown of how you kind of came to know Ezra, Molly, the brand itself, and how this relationship has grown through your all's 10 years, 11 years in the game.
Dude, it's been a long time. I'm going to say this on stage. He doesn't know I'm going to say this. I got into the space because I pirated his first course. I learned on illegal stolen content from Ezra. He had an email marketing course early on. He had some meta stuff, but the email marketing course was like, whoa, this is like kind of crazy. And Chase Diamond and I, who is my partner, we downloaded it and we watched that shit, and I was like, I think I could do this. I want to do this. So I was inspired by early on, and then just always showing them love, and like always sent and felt like when there's like this equation, one of the guys' name is Mason, says like the amount of hours someone's willing to spend with you through like content and distribution is probably directly related to the amount of money that they'll spend for you or with you or on you. And so the more hours I invest in, like I've invested hours and hours and hours into like this man's life and from his content he's been giving us over these years. And so now I feel like I have like a relationship. It's I think it's called a parasocial relationship, where they don't know as much as I know that I know about them.
But you feel like you're best friends.
100%. And so we've been able to see each other from a mentor-mentee level into like, hey, I see what you're doing with the business. And a lot of what I've built is off of the Ezra model, which is he has an event, he has an app, he has an agency, and his brands. I have the same thing. And it's taken me 12-ish years to do it, 10 plus years to do it. And so my indebtedness, my love, my respect for him, outside of like how I feel for him as a man and what he serves for his family, is on the business side too.
Right.
Then you go Molly, where like traffic and conversion was like the peak of where everybody, if you were in digital marketing and you cared about the space, you had to hit that stage. And she was like birthed on that stage, and she like crushed it from that level. And in the time of when content was being made, there was a lot of white guys, stuffy, talking like Brian Dyson, the team did a great job to include more individuals and faces. But Molly was like one of the first early women that was like, I know what I'm talking about. I got unique shit to say. I'm going to do it my way.
And I'm going to be like the scene with the loudest laugh you could imagine.
100%. Dude, you can't fake that. That's brand. That was her brand.
Yes.
And that to me was like, all right, respect again. And then I was like, yo, come speak at my events. Like, come over here. How do I get back to you? As you give me a platform, I'll give you a platform. And then on top of it, Brēz, Molly believes in it, and she enjoys it as well. And for it to do well in Kentucky, where it's like the heart of the bourbon, will be a tale of time. But just long story short, is like they started me, and now we've been able to like go back and forth. I remember when the agency started, dude. Molly wrote me up. She's like, "Hey, how are you? Like, how are you offering this? Or what is your structure? What is this?" And I was like, "Anything you need at any time, go." And then she partnered with Pep and the rest of the crew. So it's like ever flowing and ongoing.
Definitely. Well, I'll make sure that we have a getaway car for you whenever you get off stage, so Ezra doesn't have the police waiting on you for that.
That's why he's kicking me off day 2, first one, so I can dip out.
Yeah, then we'll either get you a couple hundred that you pirated, or we'll send you out to the Denver facilities.
Either way, I'm okay with the life I've lived.
So one thing that we've been asking people here is just to kind of sit and think about our motto as a company, which is serve the world unselfishly and profit, and just kind of talk about what that really means to you as a consumer, knowing that that's the mindset of a company that you're kind of giving money and giving resources to. And then also as a business owner, how you feel that you might reflect that in your own lifestyle as well.
We don't have a line in there around profit, but it's mainly because there's a physical product at the end rather than like education service. But I would say we have a similar model where our mission is to like reduce human suffering and maximize human potential through a better beverage. And I think that core pillar of put a product out there that you're proud of, that adds and is a net positive to the consumer that's consuming it, to make the world better, like enhance who they already are. And I do think there needs to be an understanding that to do that, you need money. To do that, it shouldn't feel weird to have money to do that and provide that to others. And whereas like when you see the large beverage goes, like sometimes, no matter how you want to look at it, like it's a little bit of sugar and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And like sometimes it might not be the best thing for people. Now, what people could argue is they say like, well, that might give that person joy. The person that like loves the Diet Coke or Pepsi, oh, that's my little sip. And like, hey, look, it might be not good for you, but if it made them happy, who's it for us to say that wasn't a net positive for that person?
Right.
So I think someone could spin it any other way, but we're trying to do like real good ingredients to the people that care about it now.
Yeah, I mean, that motto is beautiful. I feel like that's something you like have a sticker that you put on your mirror and have that right there. So the first thing you see in the morning is that. I mean, that's a way to live a life for sure.
That's a screen lock for sure.
Definitely. So kind of starting to close out a little bit, I want to kind of fast forward to 2026 and get your opinions as somebody that's been in the game for so long. Where do you see us going, especially with like obviously all the AI going on right now? What is a big, bold prediction that you might have for what the space is going to look like by the time we're here next year?
So did you see the question? Did you hear the question I asked Sammy? One of them?
I was down here. I wasn't there.
So one of the questions was like, they're about to launch. She wouldn't answer me on stage. That's how fresh this is. So I'm going to make a prediction to it. So Meta's launching Vibes, which is similar to what AI just, what Sam Altman and the GPT team, I'm blanking on the parent company, but they launched Sora 2, which is an all AI content social feed. Whereas like if you look at Meta or like Instagram and TikTok, it's all humans, right? It's only humans. Meta is more of like aesthetic, right? I would say TikTok's pretty much all humans.
Right.
They're going 100% AI.
Interesting.
Meta is going to launch Vibes. It's going to do the same exact thing. That's why they're not pulling all this type of creative onto Instagram. They could integrate easily AI creative into Instagram. People are already creating it there.
Right.
But they don't want to displace because their whole motto has been what? For the creators. Well, if the narrative is like for the creators that are not actual creators, but they're actually humans behind other things that are not real, doesn't ring off the tongue or doesn't roll quick, dude. So they launched Vibes. Me as a brand, and what makes sense for Meta, like how does Meta make more money? They charge more on the CPMs or they offer more places to run ads. Bro, are we going to integrate real humans into AI content feeds? Or do we as brands have to make AI content to hit an AI feed?
Right.
Where does it go?
That'll be interesting.
Where does it go? And then if Sora opens up an ad unit for them to monetize more and they get enough users on this app, do I have to make ad content that's human-based or AI-based?
Right. So you think Vibes will be,
I don't know.
Basically we each have our own account and then we are surrounded by a bunch of AI accounts
that we enjoy, that we partake in, that we consume, that we think about that, dude. If you're already getting curated social feeds based upon how long you're watching, sharing, talking, why wouldn't they do it with the AI shit you're about to get fed?
Shit. That's stressful.
It is stressful.
I mean, think about...
But it's an opt-in though. It's like, I'm interested, I'm gonna go check. It's not forcing into the existing. So it's you have to think about it. It is stressful, but it is, we live in a bleeding edge. Like even you guys, right? Like I would say, you probably live in like a interesting dichotomy. Like you wake up in Kentucky, you can go outside, you're gonna go talk to someone, your neighbor, you ain't asking about what AI platform are you using?
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But then you plug in online, you're like, yo, what are we talking about? All AI platforms.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you live this duality of life, which is wild.
Yeah, for sure.
There are so many people that have no idea what we're talking about, and they never will. And that's fine, because they're not caring or paying attention at these events. And so that prediction is, this is the fastest way you can get AI adoption and the okayness of what's happening in a platform. And we'll see.
That'll be interesting to see. I said it's stressful because the only thing I can think of is how reaffirming it will be for everybody's individual beliefs. And all they see is AI content that is telling them you're right. You're right. Oh, you're the smartest person on earth. Your opinions are perfect. And
Completely.
There's going to be struggle with discussion and debate in a while if that is the case. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think your assessment is so spot on. Is it stressful or is it terrifying? Both.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge it. We can't pretend that's not going to happen.
That's very true. That's one thing that I really struggle with. My wife tells me all the time. I came from a family that we really kind of didn't talk about the issues. So
respect.
Yeah, things like that. You know, we stick our head in the sand and everything's fine if you don't talk about it. Nothing's happening. So it'll be wild.
I'm gonna make us clip that when it happens. You'll be like, yo, it might not be 2026, but it might be 2027, it might be 2028. But we'll stand on business when that one drops.
Yeah, we'll get it out there for sure. I'll be like, Nick said it here first at the Smart Marketer podcast here in Denver, Colorado. Smart Marketer Live. Underground on the first floor. I appreciate this time, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
100%. Thank you, guys.
I had a great time.
See you later, guys.